Peace to everyone who's just joining. Peace to everyone who's coming in. I'll wait for a few minutes to let everybody come in. I know I'm 8 minutes late. I do apologize for that. I'll wait for some more people to join in. Give it a couple minutes. Hello to everybody who's joining in now. Let me know where you're from, where you're at, where you're watching me from. Leave a comment. Let me know where you guys are watching me from. All right, we got a first comment. Watching from Seattle, Washington. What's going on, fam? What's the weather like in Seattle right now? Okay, Chi-Town in the house. All right. I see y'all. At West Coast and Midwest. See if I got any East Coast family out here. You said the weather's great. Okay. I actually never been to Washington. I had a layover there, but never actually been to Washington State. So it's a bit rainy. It's actually the rainy season over here right now, so it's also rainy here as well. It pretty much rains every day during the rainy season. East Oakland, okay. Kelly in the house. That's what's up. Man, I had a good time in LA when I was out there, y'all. I like Cali. Cali's really good. Watching from Toronto. Oh, snap. Okay, Canada in the house. What's the weather like in Canada, yo? Toronto, that's what's up. Hey, Miss Robinson. Hey, we gonna link up real soon. I ain't forget about you. What side of Camp Holly you at right now? 'Cause I remember seeing you at the Pearl of Africa. You stay in the Pearl of Africa right now? I'm gonna give it another minute and a half. Get started at the 5 minute mark, so we can go ahead and get this whole thing started. I want to talk to you guys about business professionalism here in Uganda. The differences between business etiquette here in Uganda versus what I experienced abroad, and the importance of business etiquette as well. Because I found that there is a major difference when conducting business out here. So that is something that people need to understand when they do come here. That things move at its own pace out here. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. You guys can listen. I'm not going to have anybody join in on my live this live, but there's a few things that I've experienced. Dealing with trying to conduct a little bit of business here and there with a little bit I have done, and I've found that things are a lot different here than what I've experienced in the West. So, like I said, I'm gonna wait a few more seconds and I'm gonna go ahead and get started talking about it. If you guys are joining in watching me now, go ahead and leave a like on this live. So if you can, go ahead and like my live right now. Get those likes up, I appreciate that. All right, at this time, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Hopefully some more people join in, but kind of on a tight schedule because I have some more editing to do. So, without further waiting, like I said, I want to talk to you guys about conducting business here in Uganda. If you plan to come to Uganda and to invest or to spend any kind of money, you guys need to understand there are a lot of differences between dealing with business professionals here in Uganda versus how it is in the West. So, first thing I want to mention is customer service. So the basic thing that a lot of people are going to interact with are, businesses and whatnot that deal with customer service in some way, shape, or form. Whether you're dealing with a boda boda, a taxi, getting something out of a shop or a supermarket or getting something off a street vendor or something of that nature. So when it comes to business etiquette, customer service, a lot of people, this country, I want to say, from what I experienced, I'll say in the capital, I'm not going to say the entire country, but in the capital, what I've experienced is that a lot of people are maybe, I would say, nonchalant when it comes to customer service. I'm not going to say everyone, it's not everywhere. I've been to some places where customer service was extravagant. I had no complaints whatsoever. It was just a great experience, experience that I would recommend to others. And then I've been to some places where I'm just surprised that they're still operating because, their customer service skills are just extremely poor, and it's like they really don't care about making money at all. So, but those are just my opinions and my interpretation off of what I experienced, dealing with that interaction. So basically, the bad things that I've experienced with, trying to like conduct a little bit of business, like if I go to a shop, some of these local shops that I go to, they are not really pressed about people coming in there. How could I explain it? It's okay. It's not a priority to them. Like when you come in there and you're buying your things or whatever. If you say hello, you speak to them, whatever the case may be. They're not so attentive. You get what I'm saying? Like you'll get what you got to get, and you're done. Your interaction is pretty much done. Now, many people, if you understand what I mean, like if you're from the West, like me, you go to like a 7-Eleven or something like that. First thing they do, bam, as soon as you walk through the door, they greet you. Whether it's a generic, BS greeting or not, you still get greeted. And after that, you get what you have to get. They recommend stuff to you at the counter. Do you want to buy this? Do you want to buy that? They ask you a bunch of questions, just trying to engage in their customer in some way, shape, or form to understand like how to either get this person to spend more money or to give them a better experience so that they want to come back. I found that many places out here are not really into that. You get what I'm saying? Like if you go to more upscale restaurants or upscale supermarkets or something of that nature, that is a different experience to a degree. But for the most part, it's not really, like I said, it's not really a priority here. You get what I'm saying? So that to me was a bit frustrating when I first got here because I couldn't understand that. You get what I'm saying? I thought that was something that was taught everywhere, but that was my own ignorance. So I had to humble myself and I had to understand that this country is different and the culture here is different and the environment is different as well. Even though it is a diverse community of people here in Uganda, people are very heavily culturally, they're into their culture basically. I don't really know how to explain that. They're really into like how things are in their culture. If you really don't understand the culture here, then you're gonna have a hard time. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. If you don't understand how people operate here as far as, who they are, their culture, their tribes, clans, and things like that, you're gonna have a hard time like getting around and maneuvering and doing things because they're not really gonna change for you or adjust their life for you. You get what I'm saying? So it's you, the guest or the foreigner who comes here, who has to understand that. And that was me, my ignorance, and I had to get rid of that ignorance and humble myself, and I had to understand that, things are not gonna move at my pace. I have to move at their pace, basically. So it was a lot of times, man, where I would just be really, really frustrated. Sometimes where I wouldn't even want to go to certain places or certain establishments because I'm so used to a certain level of professionalism that I was like, no, I can't deal with this anymore. Either these people are gonna greet me when I walk through the door, or they're gonna change like how they interact with me or whatever, or I'm just not gonna shop there anymore. I'm just not gonna spend my money there anymore. I mean, okay, it's not really a big deal to them. If you don't spend your money there, then okay, it's fine. Just keep moving. You get what I'm saying? So that's how people survive out here. It's not really that big of a deal to prioritize customer service. So that's one thing I really wanted to mention to people out here, like as far as business etiquette goes. So aside from that, I'm not saying all of this stuff to bash anybody. So please, if you are watching this video and you're in the comments or whatever, just hear what I'm trying to say and understand my perspective on where I'm coming from. Because as a foreigner, we do have expectations of certain things, and though we shouldn't have high expectations, it's human nature to have expectations, period. So I just want to, say these things based off of my opinion, my perspective, things that I went through and I experienced, basically. So moving right along, I want to talk about time management and, people being prompt here in Uganda. So as a person of color, I already understand what CP time is. So people who don't know what CP time is, it's called people time. And black folk in the West, we kind of move at our own pace too. You know, though we can still be prompt, we can still do what we have to do and go where we have to go, conduct our business, and make sure we take care of all the things we take care of. Let me something going on in these comments. Let me read these comments real quick. So I see people asking me questions and what's going on here. Peace to everybody that's just coming in. I appreciate everybody coming in. If you just joining in this live, go ahead and leave a like when you're just joining in. And I'm gonna get to these comments in a few. Yeah, I did lose a little bit of weight. I lost a little bit of weight, y'all. I'm still losing weight often because I do move around a lot. It's slow. I don't go to gyms, but I do walk around a lot. I do move around, and I don't really use a lot of public transportation so much like I used to. So I do walk more often. But like I said, I'm gonna get into these comments in a few. So I'm not really reading all of that right now. But so back to what I was talking about with time management. It was an issue for me when I first got here because time management was like I really expect people to be prompt. Even though black men in the West, like I said, we kind of take our time doing things. We still show up when we need to show up, if we need to show up at a certain time, and we take it serious. You get what I'm saying? Out here, it can be a very serious matter, and people might still not show up on time. But it's not always because of their fault, it's also because of the conditions of the roads, things like that. It's a lot of traffic and people get stuck in jam depending on their methods of transportation. I personally would prefer to use a boda and pay a little bit more to use a boda because I know I'm going to get to where I have to go on time. Versus if I get in an Uber, I could leave an hour early and still might be a few minutes late because of traffic jams. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I prefer to use a motorcycle because it's a little bit more convenient. Now, other people might not do that. Other people might just prefer to use public transportation because that's what's just most convenient for them, or that's what they feel comfortable doing. Now, I can't get frustrated or upset with people when they do that because people have to use what they got to get what they need out here. You get what I'm saying? So once again, that is something else that people are going to have to humble themselves with when they come here as far as time management goes, because it's an issue, that it's not really going to change immediately. Only thing I can say is that you can pick and choose who and where you invest with, and if you spend your money with a certain person or a certain company in business and they don't do what you're asking them to do, I mean, you have every right to not do business with them anymore if you choose not to. And I've done that plenty of times. I've done business with certain people. I've had my own personal drivers where I will call them and they are very nonchalant about getting to my place, and they don't understand that I have somewhere to be, and I don't like to be waiting on people all day long. And then when you show up, you don't even apologize. You just, I'm here. You get what I'm saying? Like, now you're rushing me out the door. I don't like that. So I would, instead of me arguing with you, I would just, not even waste my time and go ahead and just go find another service, because I'd rather spend my money somewhere else than with someone who's just going to be nonchalant. So once again, time management and being prompt here is a big difference than what it is in the West. Not everybody. There are some people who are on time. I've actually dealt with a lot of people who will pull up on time, if not early, and I actually was the one who came late sometimes. So I'm not sitting here saying that Uganda is terribly slow at doing this and terribly slow at doing that. Just explain the differences between the two so people can understand what they have to embrace once they come here and they prepare to invest, basically. So moving right along, as far as time management goes, one last thing I did want to mention with this public transportation, because things are getting a little bit worse as far as the road conditions because of jam and things like that. If you don't really know where you're going, it's best to find your routes beforehand, if you could, because I've experienced getting lost many times, even in Ubers, because either the Uber doesn't know and I don't know, and I have to keep calling the people to get them to give us proper directions. You get what I'm saying? So there's many different things that could help you with time management. But once again, that is something that you guys definitely will want to plan ahead. If you can't do that, plan ahead, because that can be just a huge issue here. So moving right along. The next thing I want to talk about is how, when you are ready to invest in your money, you have a lot of people here, and abroad, but we're talking here now. I've experienced a lot of people who are they just like to talk. You get what I'm saying? Like, there are some people who are very serious about doing business and are ready to do business like yesterday. You get what I'm saying? Then there are other people where I've experienced where we actually do the talking, we do and all this stuff, and now we're ready to do the walking. You get what I'm saying? You talk, now it's time to do the walk, and they're no show. They're no call, no show. And that bothers me so much. Communication is extremely important to me. If you can't do anything else when doing business with King Opportunity, you can't do anything else when doing business with me. At least communicate with me. At least. That's all I ask. There's nothing wrong with sending me a text message, a phone call, you can beat me, something. Communication is extremely important to me, no matter what. All right, so that's the number one priority in me above everything else, because communication will help me so much, when dealing with other things like in life. You know what I'm saying? And I've had so many issues trying to do business here, and people, like I said, don't even bother to send a phone call, whether they don't have airtime credits or their phone is dead or they forgot my number or it's some whatever excuse it is. Like, it's always something, and it really, really bugs me how it happens so often. And once again, people are very nonchalant about it here, and I'm not going to say it's everyone, but it's quite a few of the people that I've dealt with in the past. They're very nonchalant about it. Now, I will say this. There is a difference between doing business with men here, and there's a difference between doing business with women here. And I'm not understanding why yet, but I'm slowly doing my research on this. I'm trying to pick and choose who I talk to about this. But I've noticed that some men here are very, very nonchalant, and it really bugs me. Like, there are times where I just don't even want to do business with a lot of these guys because they just talk. They like to talk, and I'm a Black American, so they come around me and they want to know about my life in America and all this other stuff about America, and I'm over here ready to do business, and it's like they want to talk about personal stuff first, business second, and then we have lunch, and I'm like, man, I'm not used to that kind of business meeting or that way of conducting business. Basically, I'm used to you show up, y'all greet, sit down, and we just start talking. You know what I'm saying? We start handling business right then and there. I'm not used to the whole jazzing and the whole gossiping and stuff like that beforehand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very prompt about what I want to do, and when I show up, sometimes I got other things I want to do after this meeting, so I don't have time to sit here and talk to you about how many cats I have at home and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying? Now, I really don't want nobody to get offended by that, because I see that is something that people do here. I think it might be a cultural thing, but I'm really starting to try to understand it a little bit. But I really don't want people to be offended by that. But that's just who I am as a person. I cannot stand the fact that I go to meet up with people and y'all want to talk about my brothers and my sisters and all of this other stuff. We can talk about that. That's fine. But when it's time to do business, let's talk about business. You get what I'm saying? Let's get the business out of the way first. And we, set up schedules, do the appointments, do all that stuff first, and then we can jazz. We can have a whole another day just for that. But I want to do business first. You know what I'm saying? Because the way my mind is, I don't have time to be wasting right now with jazzing and gossiping. You know what I'm saying? So communication. To get back on subject, communication can be different out here, and I'm still learning how to humble myself when communicating with people, because I realize that I do get frustrated with people very quickly, and that is my personal problem that I have. So that's something that I am working on, and I'm like I said, I'm trying to humble myself, because give me 1 second, guys. Get some water. Cotton up. So I do gotta humble myself a bit, because I'm so used to dealing with, I guess, veterans and other people in the military. Like, we're very prompt at things that we do, so we don't like to have our time wasted by BSing. And once I feel like you're starting to BS me, I'm gonna try to find a way to get out of this conversation and leave. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to do it in a very respectful way, but I let people know, I don't come to talk all day. I want to conduct business and move on and do what I got to do, basically. So communication is very important for me here in Uganda when doing business, and not just here in Uganda, but any other country that I plan to go to in the future. Communication is very important. You guys will understand, even though I am kind of hard at communicating with some of my subscribers, when you email me, things like that, because I have so many different emails I got to go through and in DMs. Like you guys have no idea. Like I kid you not, it's that many, and I'm just not used to it. So I got a bit overwhelmed, and some things I have to go back to is I have to put a star or I pinned it, so I have to go back and read them again and things like that. So communication is pretty important to me, and I am lacking in some areas, but I'm much better in other areas, especially when it comes to doing business and getting money. Like I'm on point with that. All right, so some things I'm not really, I lack in because just like jazzing and things like that. We'll gossip another day, but when it comes to business, I try to hit those business ones up first, and then I get back to the other ones. But outside of that, when I'm out there in the world and I'm in Uganda in these streets and I'm trying to like set up appointments for video shoots or photo shoots or meetups, link ups, things like that, people, they BS me sometimes, and it really does bother me. But I have to learn how to just move on and just keep it going. You know what I'm saying? I can't let that slow me down, basically. So communication once again is extremely important. So moving right along, I think the last thing I want to mention, I did say this earlier, the differences between doing business with men and women here in Uganda. One thing I noticed with women is that whenever I want to do a meetup or I want to link up with certain women out here for a video shoot or a business meetup or something of that nature, like they are always on point with it. I mean, I've only had maybe one or two canceled because of transport or something of that nature, or maybe weather conditions. But for the most part, women are very on point, and it could be for many reasons. But whatever the reason is, I appreciate the fact that I can go ahead and do business, with certain women better, more so than I could do with men. And it does kind of look some type of way, like, my videos, you guys see I do a lot of videos with ladies. It's not always because I really want all these girls in my videos. It's mostly because like these guys just don't show up, or these guys cancel on me, or they don't even, hit me back. I'll message them and they don't hit me back or something of that nature. Or I'll hit them up a long time ago and they'll take weeks and weeks and weeks later to hit my line back. So after that, at that point, I'm just no longer interested. You get what I'm saying? When I message people, I actually message multiple people at one time. And whoever hits me up, that's when I start to engage with those people, basically. So I find that a lot of times these guys just want to, they just want to BS, I guess. They just don't take it as serious as I do, maybe. But you guys see, the most of the other guy that I do a lot of videos with, you see I do a lot of stuff with O'Shea, because me and O'Shea were pretty much on the same page when it comes to business mindset. You get what I'm saying? Like, you hit me up, if you want me to come over there and do something, I'm over there. I do what I got to do, and vice versa. So it's not really, that's just, I guess it's one of the things that we have, that kind of rapport that we have between us. Even with his team, even other members of his team that I work with, we have established that kind of rapport with one another. But like I say, it's somewhat difficult trying to do business with a lot of men out here because of those, those little situations. So hopefully, that kind of helps you guys. I know I kind of talk a little bit fast, and I'm going to look at these comments now to see if you guys have any questions or something of that nature. Matuba Abu, salam alaikum. Alaikum salam, fam. I don't know how to say all the rest of it. I know how to say alaikum salam. So I'm gonna read these comments real quick. I'm gonna see if you guys have any questions, and I'm gonna leave the next few minutes open for any questions that you guys have as far as business goes, and then probably gonna wrap it up after that. But I definitely wanted to get that off my chest as far as like getting all of that business stuff out there, because it is definitely an issue that needs to be worked on, but it's not something that, like I said, any individual could come here and change. It's a change that has to happen within the whole community. But if the whole community doesn't see a problem with it, then you yourself is just you're gonna have to humble yourself, basically. So with that being said, let me go ahead and look at these comments and see what y'all talking about. All right. Watching me from Brooklyn. Okay. I gotta go all the way to the top. No, I did not get my dirt bike yet. W asked me, no, I did not get my dirt bike yet. Oh, y'all like my fade? Hey, I appreciate that. Yeah, y'all like my little fade. Yeah, I got a barber out here. He's actually a pretty good guy over in the shopping mall called Equatorial Mall. He's actually a pretty good barber. He's pretty cheap too. He charged me only 10,000 shillings, 10,000 Ugandan shillings. I'm gonna start tipping him though, because he does a really good job. And I see that y'all like it, I'm saying, the ladies like it, so I'm gonna start tipping my boy, But he's really good, man. He's quick, he's on time, he's prompt. You do a really good job, man. Very professional. All right. Okay, D-Town in the house. What up? What up? Oh, you from D-Town. What's good? What's good in Detroit, yo? Yeah, once again, I don't have right. Bro, I'm bringing 5,000 to you, Uganda. Is that good to live for a year? No, it is not. I'm not really sure what type of lifestyle you want to live with 5,000 USD, but I mean, you could live off of that for a year, but you be living in the ghetto or something like that. You get what I'm saying? Like you'll basically be living a minimalist lifestyle. You have to be very careful. Like I would recommend if you do that, you have to buy your own food, eat in your house every day. Basically, you really shouldn't go out and eat anywhere at all. I wouldn't recommend that. You're probably not gonna have no money for traveling around like sightseeing and all that stuff. Um, 5,000 USD, man. I don't even recommend that, fam. I don't even recommend that at all. But if you really want to like get into depth, my next video, I'm actually going to do a cost of living breakdown. I want to do an in-depth video on cost of living because I'm trying to get all my receipts together for 1 month so that I can do a cost of living breakdown for an entire month just so you guys can see my living expenses so far. Because my living expenses are actually not that expensive, but I have to, put all my receipts together basically. I'm just tallied up for you guys and do a whole segment on that. All right, so you guys stay tuned for that, and hopefully that will help you understand, what you can spend your money on basically. But I don't recommend you come here with 5,000 for an entire year. Nah, that's not gonna work, fam. It's cheap to live out here, but it ain't that cheap. I ain't gonna say that. Rachel, hey there, King. Hey, Rachel from Illinois. What's going on? How you doing? Kwaku Isasi. Peace, King. What's up? What's up? What's up, fam? Kwaku. That's a dope name. I like that name. Buy map books. I don't actually need a map though, to be honest. I'm learning my way around. I have so many local people who take me around and whatnot. Plus, I got a really good friend. We ride around a lot, so I'm actually learning my way around town in areas that I actually didn't know before. I learned a lot of shortcuts, things like that. The main roads, I'm pretty much decent at getting around the main roads now, so that's not really an issue. But for the most part, a lot of the shortcuts is what I'm learning right now. Nanny Maroon says the African way is to get to know you first. Oh, okay. So that's what I was thinking. It had to be some kind of culture thing out here. That's why, like, I was trying not to be offensive whenever I started seeing like people wanted to jazz with me whenever I would go to these business meetings and stuff like that. I'll try to keep them on subject, and I'll try to do it the best way I can without being offensive because I don't really like talking about my personal life when I'm first meeting up with people. Like, people really want to get into it. Who's your wife? Like, who you fucking now and all of this? I'm like, come on, man. I don't want to talk about that stuff. So I just want to, do business and do what I got to do. And then we can talk about all that, personal stuff later if I like you, that's all. But I see that it's got to be a culture thing out here. What's up from Brooklyn? What's up, fam? What's up? What part of Brooklyn you from? Malik, okay. And communication is key to most African diaspora growing up in the West. It's an issue for me too, trying to link more with the diaspora community and network. Indeed. It definitely is. Because I've actually met other diasporans here, not just from America, but Canada, UK, even South America. And they all experience basically the same thing I experienced. Like when it comes to communication here and conducting business, like people just not show up, things of that nature, and it's so irritating. They won't even like send a phone call or text message, and it's like you'll be sitting there waiting, and next thing you know, either they'll show up and super late and like, hey, man, be sorry, something like that, or they just won't show up at all, and they'll text you the next day like, hey, my bad, I forgot to tell you I wasn't gonna come or something like that. Why is this held for review? Do I recommend dildo business? No. Dildo business in Kampala. You know what? It's actually a sex store out here. I just found this out too. There's a sex store out here in Uganda. So there are some little things like that around. I know that people culturally aren't really into that kind of sexuality, that stuff. So I can't really speak too much on it. There are a few. I've seen some things out here. There are a few, but It's not really a huge thing here. But there's a market for it. You might, yeah, I think you'll definitely make some bread if that's what you went to. You'll definitely make some bread off of that. Yeah, you'll definitely make some bread off of that if you went to that. But it's not a huge market for it. You just threw me off with that one, yo. Let me get back into these comments, man. You threw me off with that. There are a lot of business to do. Patience required a lot of business. Yeah, you're right, though. Lynn Lester was saying there are a lot of businesses to do. Patience is required a lot in any kind of business. You're 100% right about that. So we made a lot of money in college, sending BlackBerry back to Uganda 10 plus years ago. They got to the university. Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, it's always good to have. If you come here to Uganda, you definitely gonna need at least 1 or 2 hustles. Like I highly recommend that. I try. Like right now, I have 2 residuals coming in. I'm trying to get at least 2 more, so I need like 4. If I get 2 more residuals coming in, I'm gonna be alright. I'm gonna be alright. I'm okay now, but I'm gonna be alright. You hear me? I'm gonna be alright. So it's definitely nice to have quite a few different hustles out here. Most celebrities that I've met, socialites and things like that, these people have a lot of side businesses, side hustles. A few models that I've met so far, it's the same thing. They do modeling, pageants, socialite, influencing, all types of stuff. So it's definitely good to have a side hustle out here if you do come. And it's very easy to have side hustles out here too. So y'all keep that in mind. You do come to Uganda, definitely get you a side hustle, all right? So let me keep going. Uganda is very fertile. You can grow avocados and export to other countries. Yes, you can. Neil Life of Gertrude. Yeah, you definitely can. Uganda is extremely fertile here. Like, you can grow pretty much anything. I've for the first time I've seen a pomegranate tree out here. People got all types of fruits and vegetables and whatnot just growing anywhere. Man, it's actually agriculture. I think is one of the easiest businesses to get into here in Uganda because of how readily available land and all those other resources are. Because it's a big agricultural country too. It's very big on farming out here. Alright. XP Life Now is saying you and BNT put Uganda on my scout list for place to move. Oh, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. BNT, yo, they actually have some really good content. They focus on like a lot of lifestyle stuff and apartments and real estate, excuse me. So they focus on a lot of real estate things and something I was also trying to get into myself. But they kind of inspired me to do that because they really like go to some very nice, extravagant places, and those ladies like do some really good work. So you guys ever looking at some other apartments and things like that, you guys can always go check out the BNT Life Lane channel, and they have some really good apartment reviews. They give like in-depth reviews so you know how much money to spend on these places as well. Plus they leave links behind too, so that's always good. All right, Lynn Lasser was saying cost of living can be so expensive, especially if one doesn't have any income, but one can survive. I must say, not easy to survive abroad without any income. True indeed. All right, we are going to stop talking about sex toys tonight because that was not the subject, okay? I'm not going to be reading those comments. So let's move right along, all right? Y'all are trying to throw me off tonight with that stuff. Come on. Jesus. All right, moving along. Let me speak, try to small words. Oh, I apologize, y'all. I'm sorry. I do talk a lot really fast. I do apologize. Let me slow it down a bit for y'all. I do get excited a little bit. So once again, I do apologize. Oh, Shay, my brother, what's up, fam? Appreciate, man. Bro, you be coming through every time on the live, bro. You be coming through, bro. I appreciate you, dog. O'Shea with the super chat donation, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try to slow it down for y'all a bit. I do apologize. I know I'm still a Westerner and whatnot, y'all might not understand my English so great. So I do apologize. I'll try to switch it up a bit so you can understand me better. How was that? Let's work on that. All right, moving right along. Casey Green was asking me how much does a dirt bike cost. So I'm looking for a dual sport. I actually found a few dual sports out here, different brands, price ranging from like 5 million used, 5 million Uganda shillings used, all the way up to 10 million used, and then brand new starting at like 12 million, up to like 15 million. And I've also seen supermotors out here as well. I've seen a supermoto, a nice supermoto for 8 million. I think it was used. It might be stolen. I'm not even sure, but man, it was a nice supermoto out here. So it's actually a few little bikes out here. You can get some 2 strokes or some 4 strokes out here for pretty cheap. You can get really cheap 2 strokes out here for like 5 million Uganda shillings. Like just